But by doing these contemplations and doing these bija mantras and thinking about each of these elements and then looking into the world to see the element and say, what is that element doing? You know, does the tree have a voice that I'm listening to? Does the human have a voice that I'm listening to? Do the the animals and do they have a voice? Have I thought? Do they have a voice? Have I been listening? See? What doesn't the kingdom listen to? It listens to everything. See? And gives everything its place and everything its integrity. So, see how you're becoming divine and more full by doing this type of contemplation, by doing this type of psychic sensitivity. See, this is true, pure, deep practice to acquire this kind of sensitivity. It's interesting. Normally this room is full and people are all over the place, but God wanted you people to hear this. That's why you people are here. There's many, many, many other people who come. They're not here today. See? So, whoever is in this room hearing this satsang, it's because you've had prayers in the past to hear this knowledge. You know? And if you haven't had that deep interest, you're not here. You are just not here. See? So this is what's been given today is questions you've asked in prior births, angst that you've been seeking out, you know, clarifications that you've been wanting. So it's now to absorb as much as possible and to do as much experiments as possible. To try to look at the world in a far more creative way. Try to experience the world in a far more creative way. Try to experience the world in a far more intimate way. And know that every one of those experiments and every one of those aspects of intimacy is touching deeper and deeper into the nature of the kingdom, into the nature of God. See? Grand experiment, grand experience.
Are there elements and sounds associated with 5, 6, and 7?
Om is the sixth. Seventh is silence. The inexpressible. Because at that point you go beyond mind. You go beyond creation. See? The seventh chakra is beyond creation. See? So there's no human facility to experience it. But you have this facility of soul. You'll experience it through soul, which is beyond human facility. See? Yes.
You didn't mention the sound of the solar. The
Ram.
sound.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ram.
Ram.
Ram. Yeah, it's the solar bija. The Om Ram. All purification.
Oh, that's for the third?
Yeah, third chakra. Ram.
Do you verbally say? Are you required to say it verbally, or you can mentally say it?
You're not required. In the beginning, because people are unfamiliar, it's good to say it orally, just because it engages more senses. But later on, it can be purely mental. Purely mental. The spine erect, and you can coordinate it with your breath if you'd like. And then deep concentration inside the spine, and then go through each bija, and then do each contemplation. You know, you have to say, what is the nature of earth? What is the nature of water? What is the nature of fire? What is the nature of air? What is the nature of ether? See? And here, pure intuition. Pure intuitional mind. Linked to the kingdom. See?
I remember last month actually, you said something that use every weapon in your arsenal, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So I thought it was very useful, and but when I the Buddhist saint DePalma, when I read her biography, she has put 10 not in her biography, but there's a Wikipedia page actually also. So I read that too, and she has a list of 10. She's the famous Buddhist saint. So she has 10 teachings, things to follow. In that, the first thing she said, pick one technique and then stick with it, right?
She's right.
So when we do these different things, they don't conflict at any point, right? Like
not at all. Not at all. They don't conflict. it's like a symphony, where all the elements of this of the orchestra are playing together one song. See, one creative song.
So if you, let's say, follow Buddha's Vipassana teaching and Vipassana meditation,
Yeah.
and then at the same time, during the different time of the day, you do this Tantra practice, they don't conflict, right?
That's a good question. They don't conflict at all.
In fact, they go together. I mean, they help each other.
It's part of the human experience.
Okay.
Because if you're doing a Vipassana meditation, that is developing the quality of pure insight, calm mind, pure insight. But that's part of your sacred disposition. That's not all of your sacred disposition. God gave you a heart for a reason. God gave you tactile senses and sensory experiences for a reason. It's just to see that all this is God. That's one element. If you go deep enough into Vipassana, all of these other things will be naturally realized. You'll naturally become aware of it. No one's won't have to teach it to you. It'll become an immediate insight, a self manifesting insight. You know, you'll see the trees, you'll see the human, you'll see the nature of the chakras, you'll see their disposition, you'll see their quality, you'll see the symbolism, you'll see the sanctity. It'll happen quite naturally. It's just a different way. You know, they're all valid. They're all valid, and there's no conflict. You know, does the violin conflict with the flute in the symphony? No. They're working together. They're all playing their part, showing this element of the kingdom, that element. So the God can sing to the violin, and the God can sing to the flute, and the God can sing to the drum. See, it's all voices of the kingdom. So it's part of the fullness of your existence. The Vipassana person who's practicing that Vipassana, they'll realize all of that. They may not talk about it, but they'll realize all of that. They'll become hyper aware of the song of God coming through every element of life. They'll become hyper aware of it. See? They won't miss the songs. It's there. God is singing. See? They'll see it. They'll experience it. They may not speak about it a whole lot, but they're definitely experiencing it. See? There's no problem. No problem.
Interesting to me that the four elements, air, fire, water, and earth, are also sacred to the Native Americans. And the Chinese, the Taoists also, but they use more elements, including wood and
Metal.
metal.
Yeah.
But it's similar, just knowing the different qualities
Sure.
and levels of materiality.
Yeah, they're trying to show you the sanctity of life through the elements of life. And saying, remember it. See it. These chakras are lenses of perception. See? We have to learn to use them as lenses of perception, of ways of seeing the world and having greater intimacy with the world. Mm-hmm. And that intimacy with the world, it's world/God. See? It's God hidden in a garment.
When we practice this sound, it's like when Raj was asking what mantras can I use? Can I use this mantras for myself as a practice?
Of course, this is what God has done. This is all universal
so this is
stuff.
a real mantra.
Oh yeah, these are bija mantras.
Yeah.
Called bija means seed. You know, is it the only mantra that will help make those balance and manifest the inherent wisdom? No, but are they central ones? You know, lam, vam, ram, yam, hum, om. Definitely. If you're doing like Gayatri mantra, prior to saying the Gayatri, you'll go Om Bhu, Om Bhuvaha, Om Swaha, Om Maha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam, Tatsavisu Vrenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yonaha Prachodayat. But that Om Bhu, Om Bhuha, Om Swaha are the chakras again. See?
Om Namah Shivaya. When is that used?
Well, that's just a Shivite mantra. Very, very powerful Shivite mantra. giving reverence to Lord Shiva. See? You know, Om is always the root mantra. And then Shiva is reverence to God in the form of Shiva, the great purifier. You see? You know, saints have chanted that for thousands of years. Absolutely sanctified. Will it take you home? Definitely. Definitely. No doubt about it. But you have to become invested. It has to become part of your bones, not just your psyche. It has to become part of your bones. See?
I actually experienced one time climbing a mountain. I was left behind by the two guys I was with.
Yeah.
And my knees were hurting.
Yeah.
And I remember the mantra, and
Yeah.
Om Namah Shivaya, and
Om
every
Namah
step.
Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
And I remember my knees getting stronger and stronger.
That's correct practice.
Is it?
It's correct
Wow.
practice. Yeah. Rely on God. Rely on God. Rely on God. Remember God. Remember God. That's
I was
correct.
surprised. I was very surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, you know, calling upon God's name is the fundamental platform of our life. It's the fundamental platform. You went to the root, you know. So whether it's God is Shiva, God is Devi, God is Ram, they're all threads to the kingdom. They all take you right back to the kingdom, to the central root of what everything is. See? So it's good practice. It's good practice. Remember God, remember God, remember God. Any other thoughts, questions before we close? I wanted to get that practice out, you know. But it's to be able to see the world differently. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. See the world differently. Think about it. Contemplate it. Realize it all came out of sanctity. It's there and it's here. See? And you have to realize both. See? That's why there's no such thing as a lonely yogi. That's the only human beings are like that. Humans are like that. No, yogis are not like that at all. Because there's a constant intimacy. How can you feel alone? How can you feel alone when you chant God's name and God is present in all these different things? How can you feel alone? It's not possible. It's just not possible. See? That's a psychological human construct. It has nothing to do with once you enter the sacred life. Not at all. Not at all. You're never alone. You're always in community. You know, sanctified community. Yeah. Okay, any other thoughts, ideas? So then what we'll do is we'll close, we'll sit up straight, we'll chant Om 3 times, and then have a few minutes of silence. So you'll take a deep breath in, release the breath, and take another breath. Gently take a deep breath in. And then release the breath. And you can gently open your eyes. And return to common consciousness. Haricharan. Haricharan.